Okay, everybody, we want to move on now. I picked this up at the library of my book knowledge of interest for myself today. And the reason why I picked this particular book up is I always was these were bestsellers in the 1990s and in the 2000s. And during the up and coming building of websites was one of the first phases after the internet was created. It was very complicated to make a website when we first all started this because most people didn't know coding and such. So this was a beginner's book on how to bring interest to your website. But what I found, we're always attracted to the building a website, the word for dummies. And then they evolutionized it in this is the 4th edition. And I got this book because I wanted to look through it to see in the form of marketing how a website becomes your platform of TikTok, Slack, because these are websites that you technically own. And that's really how they should be ran. Meaning, I don't need to be told community guidelines in some weird... I don't want to be in the circuit of shoo-choo. But see, they count on the circuit of it's like relying upon big government versus relying on themselves to keep an audience coming back for more. They just pay shoo-choo to bullshit you into sickness. You're all mentally ill. And so I wanted to look at this to see what kind of navigation tools, collecting and creating content to get attention, just to see what it had to say in the way we used to look at things, because everything's still the same. And then the design and plan of what a website used to look like, because I like to look at old things and create them with the new form of building in the newness of life with the new advances. And this is the first time I'm opening it as I'm looking at it. I don't have a website and I don't plan on getting a website because you have to pay to have a website. But I'm not sure who you're paying because you have to pay to have a host website. So think about what I just said. You have to pay a website to host your website. But you're your own entity of a business, but Google hosts your website so somebody can find it. So let's do a little graph on the board. So let's tell you that we have, and this is complicated for me because I'm really not into the science, although I'd rather work in science than what you all working with is all weird emotions. Is the World Wide Web, which I remember seeing this kind of stuff on, it's like, and then it's all lit up with lights. So you know how you have this thing? So that's a Ponzi scheme. And so what comes up for me right now is that and I'm remembering because I don't remember why I tried to host a website once. I don't remember what I was trying to do, but it was not easy to do. And the earlier years was very complicated. And so you had to pay a website to host your website. And as I sit here today, I'm like, why would I pay them? The airspace of the internet is the airspace of the internet. The only thing I can think of is for traffic. But you never got any traffic. You never got traffic. So if I wanted to create my own website, I could technically get my own traffic, but everybody goes to Google or Apple, which makes them the monopoly and them controlling you on what you can and can't say because they all have guidelines. And that makes sense because we have people like Apple, because Steve Jobs is no longer with us, and they're criminals, just to let everybody know. So that comes up for me when it comes to making in web development. Give him air. Give him air. He'll be okay. He's just been exposed to some raw HTML code. It must have accidentally flashed across the screen from the server. Think about this cartoon and the mental instability of people who are constantly in flash mode, like you're at a Taylor Swift concert, because everyone knows the warning signs of specific filters to say, warning, seizures may occur. That's why we're dealing with what we're dealing, is the techie people are mentally ill because they don't have people skills. They spend 12 to 40 hours a day, if there were 40 hours in a day, working behind a computer screen, which is why Steve Jobs, in a specific interview, I remember him speaking to the fact that he wanted to offload, meaning to take his computer, to go into the mountains and work on the computer without it being online. And that's what's supposed to be available with Apple. TikTok makes you save your data in your phone to where you consistently have to delete the app and then add the app back, so you can't produce too much content. So what's attached to that in the form of what the content is doing to your information, and what are they doing with it? Then they tell me that I'm not allowed to design my own platform, and then they tell us what brand and imaging they expect from their customer, because they community guidelines me when I speak about my own country, because it doesn't agree with a Persian named Monavand. Yet you're not invited to look at my content, so I'm not really sure how this all works. This is all research for society as a whole, and the TikTok children in their 20s and 30s, they don't like the fact that they are rules and regulations when it comes to humanity. Although in the old days, this is all where it started. In this chapter, you determine your site's purpose, analyze your audience, and you appeal to visitors, keeping your site lean. And so I would say that your leanness of your content platform is so lean, it has no content. It literally is thinner than this line right here. If I could break this line into a fourth of a line, that's how much content you produce and value. White background. We're hosting, this is literally content. We're hosting a Eat Clean party for Friendsgiving, and I want to have wilted greens. Here's my dog. Here's my fancy background. There's liquor over my left shoulder. And I'm into mocktails. Because nobody likes mocktails, now she's going to change to bring liquor into the picture, because she's going to have liquor at this party, because it actually brings people to life, because she's that fucking boring. She's trying to dry everyone up so that she can just walk around like a dead robot, talking like this, ooh, while delivering on nothing. Let's see. There's so much information in here. Chapter 2, taking a look at tags, using HTML tags to format text, and getting the lowdown on links, adding graphs to your website. Oh, getting wordy. Interesting. Coding, interesting. Look what coding looks like. Take a look. That's what they do all day long at TikTok. Most of you do not understand what coding means, because it's become so easy for you to just fart. All of you people in the techie world who came before these little shits know more about coding because you created the coding, and they fucked you over to try to create it as if they invented it. I mean, I'm not sure why you wouldn't fight for your own product. Literally, this is their life. What should we try next? I ain't afraid of the machine. What should we do next?